to the wonder of Britain, where I'm celebrating the things that I think put the great into Great Britain.
This week I'm exploring our amazing buildings, their extraordinary variety, and the genius of the people who created them.
You'd wanted to scream, "I've got the power around here."
From the stately to the adventurous.
Hello down there! Oh, there we go.
From the humble to the fabulous. Buildings that evoke a dramatic past.
And there were 2 enormous fire bombings here.
And buildings that look to the future. This is the story of our beautiful buildings.
From here, I can see over 1,000 years of history. The Olympic Park, built in 2012. The Tower of London started in the 1070s. And in between, hundreds of buildings, all different shapes and sizes. It's a glorious mess, a wildly differing mix of styles, design, and influences. Much of this incredible mix has come about because we're so good at borrowing ideas from other parts of the world. So my first wonder perfectly captures this magpie spirit. It's also the most British building I could think of, a stately home.
Britain has an abundance of magnificent stately homes. So I could have chosen the glorious Woburn Abbey in Bedfordshire, where in the 1840s, the Duchess is said to have popularised the fashion for afternoon tea. Or Chatsworth House in Derbyshire, with its Grade II listed Emperor Fountain that rises almost 300 feet high, and its gilded windows covered with 24-carat gold leaf. Or gorgeous Lyme Park in Cheshire, home of Colin Firth's Mr. Darcy. But I've gone for a country pile that's the last word in swagger and extravagance. Castle Howard.
It's brilliant driving down this epic 5-mile driveway because you catch these tantalising glimpses of buildings that don't really belong in Yorkshire. And here is the main event itself. This does look like it belongs. To me, this isn't just a building, it's pure theatre. And there's a good reason for that.
Because the man who designed it, John Vanbrugh, wasn't an architect, he was a playwright. And this was the first building he'd ever built. What a way to start.
Wow. What an entrance hall.
This most English of stately homes in the heart of Yorkshire is full of frills and frippery from all over the globe. The stunning dome is straight out of Italy.
Nothing in this house is as it seems.
These magnificent Corinthian columns are heroically Greek. And this was one of the first houses in Britain to catch on to the sensible idea of corridors, a Spanish invention. Before that, people just had to move from room to room.
What do you think? Who's got the bigger nose? I know.
It's an incredible place, crammed with Egyptian art, Roman busts and Italian paintings. There are about 220 rooms. There are so many, though, no one seems to know the exact number.
The other noteworthy fact about Castle Howard is that the Howards are still in residence, 10 generations of them. So this is their great hall. It's where they celebrate birthdays, special occasions, Christmas. Imagine the tree. Imagine the baubles.
But back in 1699, it was Charles Howard, the 3rd Earl of Carlisle, who decided to build this amazing place. He was a dandy with a penchant for red-heeled shoes. It's thought that the phrase well-heeled was coined specially for him. He wanted to create a stupendous home to put his family firmly on the map. England had been experiencing a building boom as the world opened up for the aristocracy and foreign design became all the rage. And to see some of Howard's more outlandish influences, I'm going to take you somewhere most visitors aren't allowed to go.
Look at this. Bit of graffiti on the walls. What have we got here? JR 1880. R. Webster, 1965. So we go from the Victorians to the hippies. It's very neat graffiti, actually. Nothing rude on there either. Not that I can see at first glance. There's a JB on the wall here. It was not me. And now, I'm going to get to do something that not a lot of people get to do, which is see Castle Howard from the roof.
From here, you can really see what Castle Howard is all about. Fountains, woodlands, lakes, and some rather curious outbuildings. For curator Christopher Ridgway, Castle Howard is all about scale.
We don't do little at Castle Howard. It's enormous. Not only is it an enormous house, but the landscape itself is extensive, 9,000 acres.
And just the ambition, everything that you look out at is odd and extraordinary.
Well, you've got a mausoleum in the distance over there, drawn from the classical world, Greece and Rome. Over there, you've got a pyramid. Pyramids are Egyptian, Roman, and then small stuff. Seems extraordinary to say small stuff, but all these lead statues of classical gods and figures from the ancient world.
So it's the ultimate status symbol, but it's beyond parking a Rolls-Royce on the drive.
No. And also, don't forget, at some point, it becomes named as Castle Howard. So he's actually putting his imprint on the whole of this corner of Yorkshire with buildings, name, home, landscape, everything.
But building a home where anything goes comes at a cost. Howard used income from his estate, loans, and sizable gambling winnings to turn his grand vision into a reality. The total cost came to £78,000, around £7 million in today's money. Bargain. But that wasn't the only price.
This is the route of the old medieval village high street, the village that was cleared to make way for Castle Howard in 1699.
So there was a village that was just completely destroyed to make way for this?
Yeah.
Bad news for them.
No, it isn't actually, because the building of Castle Howard represents the biggest economic boom this area would have ever known. I mean, hundreds of people involved in working the land and building the house, and then maintaining the estate afterwards. Today, we're still the biggest employer in the area.
The ambition was so grand that Howard spent the next 40 years working on the house and grounds. Chris is taking me to the Temple of the Four Winds to see an exquisite map that was drawn in 1727 while construction was still underway. And it holds a surprising secret.
There's one thing that's wrong with this map. It shows us the house fully completed with the west wing, but by that date, it hadn't been built. House is unfinished because he's thrown all his energy and money into developing the landscape.
Did he ever get to see the finished house?
No, he died and his son finished the house with the west wing in the 1750s.
Did he get to see all of his other wonders?
Pretty much so. He will have seen most of the outbuildings completed, with the exception of the mausoleum. But then that's a very special story there, because he becomes the first occupant of the mausoleum after he's died.
So he did get to see it, really.
He got to see it, you could argue, in the best way possible.
In some ways, you could view Castle Howard as a giant manifestation of one man's ego. But what I find so remarkable about this location is that despite the fact that it's plundered ideas from all over the world, it is so utterly at home here in the Yorkshire countryside. It's that eccentric mix of styles that makes this place so iconically British. And I'm a bit of a fan.
In its day, Castle Howard was a truly audacious building. I've been travelling the country in search of Britain's most fantastic buildings. And there's only one way to introduce my next choice.
Which I think is utterly unique and delicious. Woohoo! Woohoo! That's right! It's the Eden Project, and I think it is spectacular! I'm flying! Woo! How brilliant is this? Hello down there! This is the way to travel! Oh my God, I don't stop! Oh! Woo! Oh. That is actually something that you can't put into words or describe.
The Eden Project is a wonder like no other. It's on my list because the idea of bringing a tropical rainforest to a sleepy corner of Cornwall is so mad, it's a wonder it happened at all. Containing 2 giant futuristic greenhouses, Eden cost £140 million to build and houses almost 4,000 species of plant. It's a veritable Noah's Ark for plant life. But the more unorthodox the building, the bigger the challenges for those like Jamie Robson who look after it.
Yeah, see this one's leaking as well, look.
Officially, I'm a rope access technician, but we're called Sky Monkeys here.
It's better.
We do all the repairs, and we even do gardening from the structure because the trees aren't strong enough to climb.
There's some surf today, isn't there, tomorrow?
Yeah, I think so.
Eden was built on top of an exhausted china clay pit, the size of 35 football pitches, under 230 miles of scaffolding. It was constructed like a cluster of soap bubbles, because they can rest on any shape of surface. An idea that the architect Sir Nicholas Grimshaw struck upon while he was doing the washing up. The largest of Eden's structures is the rainforest biome. Nearly 800 feet long and over 100 feet high, it contains the world's largest enclosed rainforest with over 16,000 individual plants. That's why the Sky Monkeys have to work at dizzying heights. And up here, it's hot. Very, very hot. Temperatures can reach 40 degrees with 90% humidity.
When we were originally building it on some of the really warm days in the summer, we were trying to break eggs and cook them on steelwork. And we were getting slight white bits. It wasn't cooking it completely, but it was just going to, you know, like a slow cook.
The biome is made of 502 steel hexagons, covered with an ultra-strong plastic. Here they call it cling film with attitude. It's 100 times lighter than glass, but can carry the weight of a small car.
Structurally, for me, it's quite amazing because I kind of like my buildings and climbing around them. It's definitely one of the best jobs in the world.
What I love about the Eden project is its upfront bravery and crazy design. But my next wonder is a true British classic. From Bamborough to Dover, from Stirling to Bodiam. A list of great British buildings wouldn't be complete without one of our magnificent castles. They may look beautiful, but their purpose was often deadly serious. And for me, there's one that epitomises everything a castle should be. As you sweep up the Menai Strait, it looms on the horizon.
There she is! If I was going to build a castle, I'd want it to be architecturally imposing and intimidating. You'd want it to scream, "I've got the power around here." Something like that.
Caernarfon Castle was the crowning achievement of the English King Edward I. Today, a proud symbol of Wales, back in 1283 when it was started, its purpose was to exert English control over the recently conquered local population. Just back from the Crusades, Edward was making a big statement. He modelled the castle on the great Byzantine walled city of Constantinople, with its angular towers and banded battlements. An almost impregnable stronghold, the walls in some places are 20 feet thick.
But to really appreciate the defensive capabilities of this monster, we need to be on the inside. These flagstones weren't always here. They're actually what's known as murder holes. So if the castle was being stormed, they could pour hot stones, tar, even sand down onto the intruders below. And if none of those items were available, they'd use boiling urine.
Even back in the 13th century, we were happy to import foreign ideas for important projects. Edward brought in a master builder, James of St. George, from the French-Swiss border, to make sure his was a state-of-the-art fortress. And it needed to be. Welsh lands had only just been brought under English control, but revolt was still in the air. And in 1294, before Caernarfon was finished, the castle was briefly stormed during a Welsh uprising. The rebels were quickly put down, and the castle beefed up even more with new outer walls and grouped arrow loops. One man who understands how these features could be used to devastating effect is archery expert Steve Ralphs.
Is this castle particularly well designed from an archer's perspective?
Well, it is if you're using one of these, a crossbow, because if you stand here at this point, you can see through 3 different arrow loops, so you can shoot through 3 different positions. 3 men here can shoot from 9 different positions and covers the town.
And out there, the enemy wouldn't know how many people were behind the wall. And this is your weapon of choice?
And this is a weapon of choice, the crossbow, yeah.
Show me how it works.
So it's spanned. This is the tickler here.
The tickler?
You just tickle it and off she goes.
Nice.
Present it here, put the rest of it
Put
on
that
your
on my
shoulder.
shoulder, yeah.
The nice thing is these arrow slits, they focus your sight, and any movement, and you'd automatically turn.
Down the middle. Whoa, that's got a bite.
It certainly has. It certainly has.
Caernarfon was designed with continuous wall passages on 2 levels. And stationed up top were the most expert archers using the super deadly longbow.
Apart from the obvious, what's the difference then between a longbow and a crossbow?
Crossbow you can master in a matter of minutes or hours. This takes years.
In terms of range, speed, accuracy?
At the time, this has a greater range, has a greater speed. In the hands of an expert, it's completely deadly. This will knock a man off a horse at 200 yards. It's the first time in medieval history whereby a knight worth, you know, £12 a year can be knocked off a horse by a man that's worth twopence. The beautiful thing about this is this is actually a Welsh weapon. Its heart is here in Wales. Edward saw the Welsh using this, took it into his army, improved it, and it became the English longbow. But its heart is here in Wales.
And if I lived and worked in this castle, what are the chances of me being able to use this?
Oh, this would be like using a biro. You'd know how to use this. You'd have been brought up. At the age of 7, the age of reason, that's when your first bow was given to you.
Can I have a go?
Yep, not a problem. OK, so, first is present the bow.
Yep. Without poking your eye out?
Without putting my eye out, right. So, arrow on the left-hand side of the bow, 1 finger above, 2 below.
Yep.
Very slowly.
Yep.
Push this hand out towards
Whoop, there we go.
OK. Pull it up, keep this elbow high. The secret is, that's it.
Now I'm dead in the centre of the yellow. Where do I go?
Come down to the right slightly, because we're close. Look at that.
We got the red. I think we should leave it there.
Do you?
I don't think I'm going to get any better than that.
All right, beginner's luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What I find interesting about this castle is that it was built by an English king as a symbol of dominance and majestic might. And yet it's become an icon of Wales, which just goes to show that the origins of a building don't always define it.
Castles like Caernarfon and stately homes were built to make a big statement. But they're not the only wonderful buildings in Britain.
I'm travelling the country exploring what I think are Britain's most wonderful buildings. And it would be impossible not to include some of the places closest to our hearts, our homes.
From thatched cottages to fishing villages to suburban semis. British homes come in all shapes and sizes.
And I've chosen my next wonder because I think it's one of the most extravagantly beautiful row of houses in the country. And it offers a unique window into the society it was built for. It's the magnificent Royal Crescent.
"250 years ago, with soon-to-be-mad George III on the throne, the city of Bath was a social whirl. Britain was expanding abroad, money was pouring in, and the elite were living it up big time. Drawn to Bath by the famed healing qualities of its waters, A-list society set up home here during the autumn for the party season. And the Royal Crescent was Bath's most fashionable address. Built between 1767 and 1775, the Crescent contains 30 terraced houses behind one uniform facade, making it look like a single building. Dr. Amy Frost has lived and now works in the Crescent.
The idea of these buildings, these rows of terrace houses, was that you are building something that looks like a country house, but of course it's not. It's terraces, it's terrace housing. But it means that the people that can stay here, that can rent one of these houses or even own one, still get the same kind of glamour that they have in their country house when they're actually living in a terrace house in the city.
The The wide pavements were built so that socialites could promenade in the latest fashions, with the Crescent like a stage set behind them. It was all about big skirts and big hair. Marie Antoinette in France was the style icon of the day. But this elegant veneer hid the reality of an all-out party town.
It's a completely superficial society. It's all about appearances. It's all about the face you present to the public, what you wear, how you act, who you are, who you know. But actually, it's a city entirely built on pleasure. It's built on gambling, affairs, pretty much getting away with whatever you wanted to get away with behind closed doors.
The Royal Crescent sums up this fur coat and no knickers personality perfectly. Whereas the front of the Crescent is a flawless, identical, smooth sweep. The back of every single house is different.
There's a line from a folk song that says about having a Queen Anne front and a Mary Anne behind. The front is all about conforming and uniformity, and around the back you see much more individuality, really. And that idea, that kind of two-faced dual nature, is exactly what Bath in the 18th century was like.
The Royal Crescent sums up Georgian society, but it still has something to say about Britain today. We like keeping up appearances, whether we live in the grandest of surroundings or the most humble of circumstances. My next wonder is the Back-to-Back, a very different kind of terraced house, made special by its residents.
The Back-to-Back was a type of cheap, cramped inner-city housing, built for workers flooding into the cities for jobs in the new factories of the Industrial Revolution. Early Back-to-Backs had just a single room on each floor and were blocked in on three sides, making them dark and dingy with little ventilation. A court of houses was arranged around a communal yard with shared dry earth toilets and a wash house. By the 1850s, 2/3 of Birmingham's population lived in houses like this. But they were all knocked down in slum clearances during the 1960s. Except this court, the last one left, preserved and cared for by the National Trust.
Now, you might think that it looks quite cute in here, and it does. But remember, this one room is multifunctional. This is kitchen, cooker, heat source, your prep table and your dining table. An estate agent would describe this as compact and bijou. And they're very narrow, rickety stairs. Let's keep going to the top. Aha, the lady I'm in search of. Hello, Anne.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, it's quite dusty up here. You must be hard at work.
Oh, I am, yes.
Shall I put one of these on?
Yeah, if you want to.
Let's get stuck in, do it all properly.
Right, you are.
Anne Lawton grew up in a house like this and now works at the Back-to-Backs.
Our bedroom wasn't actually a room. You came upstairs and you were on a kind of landing, and that's where our bed was.
Can I ask you, what did you do for privacy?
Well, some people had a curtain like that, so it was just there as an illusion of that's my bit of the room.
It's not really that private, though, is it?
No, you're right, it's not. But when you lived in a house with a lot of other people, you learn to observe each other's privacy.
So everybody knew everything you
Yeah.
were doing.
Yeah.
They knew everything that you...
Yeah, the lot, yeah.
The lot.
And it wasn't much better either with the neighbours. They knew all your business as well. They even knew how many times you'd been across the yard to the lavatory. Because they could see you, couldn't they?
So you couldn't wait to leave?
No, nobody put their name down to move into one. You put your name down to move out.
Anne's dad worked in the sheet metal trade and her mum was in printing, having started work at the age of 14. So at home, everyone had to muck in.
to save your fat. You'd leave that in your pan and the fat would be there congealing and going hard. And you'd use it again for your next thing.
Just congealed fat
Yes.
from last time?
Yeah. Then you'd scrape off the mice feet mark and use it again. Yeah. People are just too fussy now, you see.
Well, yeah, they are. You just do take everything for granted these days. You really do. Our whole lifestyle. Privacy, hygiene, space. I can't imagine living in a house where everybody knows what you do all of the time. It's just a bit crazy.
Even your dirty laundry was public. This back-breaking chore was done in the communal washhouse, often called the brew house, which served up to 60 people.
So I'll try and squeeze as much out as possible before we try and put it through the mangle.
And it was only women that did the washing?
Women only. The men would not do it. Men wouldn't even push a pram and would not be seen in a shop, a grocery shop.
Really?
That's what's so amazing about now, when you see the supermarkets full of men as well walking around. That was an unheard of thing, that was. OK, right, you go.
Oh, there we go. We're in.
See how it's squashing the water out?
Yes.
It's hard, isn't it? You keep
Well, you
on
know,
doing
it's
that.
a good physical labour.
Oh, yes. OK. That's lovely. We can hang that out now.
One
I'll
down,
take the other
23 to go.
Yes, yes. Then the sheets come next.
You must be so grateful now in terms of technology and the advancement. A washing machine.
Yes.
Where you load everything up, press a button and...
Go off and do your own thing till it's done. That's like a little miracle still.
This would have been such an incredibly frustrating experience. It takes an age to wash and mangle everything. You have to dry all your laundry on a washing line because there are no radiators, no dryers. And within a matter of hours, all your stuff gets covered in soot because of the nearby factories. You know the expression, a woman's work is never done? There's no way to spin it. Life in Back-to-Backs was a hard slog. They were overcrowded, they were dirty, damp. I'd have hated it. But women like Anne are inspiring. Our age of industrial enlightenment wouldn't have been possible without families like Anne's. These are the people that really turned this country into an industrial superpower. These buildings really did help build Britain, despite the fact that they had outside loos.
The Back-to-Backs, humble though they were, played their part in making Britain great. Britain has over 20,000 churches. From the simple village church to awe-inspiring chapels and abbeys. But my next wonder is the most famous of them all.
I've chosen St Paul's Cathedral for my list, not just because it's one of our most arresting buildings, but also because I think it symbolises Britain's battling spirit. It rose from the ashes of the Great Fire of London, and it also became an emblem of our defiance during the Blitz. Yet, despite being designed by the most British of architects, Sir Christopher Wren, the dome, arguably its crowning feature, is in fact Italian. And that's not the only surprise.
Wren was known as surveyor to the fabric, and 300 years later, architect Oliver Caro holds the same title.
St Paul's is a thing of great beauty, and when people want to talk about London, you'll see a picture of St Paul's. When people want to talk about where is the heart of the nation, they talk about this place. It has many moods and spirits, and a spirit that People can come here to discover and live and breathe and find some sense of spirituality, whether you have faith or have none.
Looking up from the cathedral floor, visitors may think that they're seeing the inside of Wren's famous dome. But there's a whole lot more going on up there.
Any intrepid visitor to the cathedral comes up this route to the dome. But almost no one will notice this gate, which, if you're the surveyor and you have the surveyor's bunch of keys, lets you into the secret of how the dome really works. Here we go. We are in the one place in the world where you can actually understand the whole structure of St Paul's Cathedral. This is ornamental gallery, and our visitors don't come here, and it's probably the coolest place in London. We are over 300 feet above the church floor, which is a little bit scary in itself.
Wren wanted to make sure that his was the tallest building in London, at 365 feet. But the stone lantern planned at the top would weigh 850 tons. Too heavy for a dome to hold up. So Wren added an ingenious and invisible cone, a stronger supporting structure that held up the lantern and made his vision possible.
The cone is all around us. And above us, we can just see through these windows the dome that does the really iconic view across London.
Because the outer dome no longer needed to bear any weight, this landmark structure is in fact just made of wood.
The outer dome is actually like a tea cosy on the outside of the real structure that does the work for St Paul's Cathedral.
St Paul's remained the tallest building in London right up until the 20th century. It was such an enduring feature of the skyline, it was given special protection during the Blitz.
Churchill saw the cathedral as this emblem that had to be saved, whatever the cost. He gave commands explicitly to the fire brigade that St Paul's must have what it needed to survive the Blitz. And there were two enormous firebombing storms around here, and both of those it survived. And that image, which is imprinted on our minds even today, still says something about the battling spirit of this nation. St Paul's is still a message to London and the nation today. And I think the cathedral feels extremely proud of that and wants to nurture it and invite people here to see something of what Wren conceived of 300 years ago.
St Paul's is so iconic that new buildings going up in London must ensure they preserve key sight lines onto the cathedral. And my final wonder got its unusual design for that very reason.
This is one of the most cutting-edge skyscrapers in Britain. Its ingenious design is the reason I've chosen it as my final building of wonder. It's a structure of the future, the Leadenhall Building.
The Leadenhall Building was given its unusual wedge shape to protect one of the most famous views of St Paul's looking down Fleet Street. It's earned it the nickname, the Cheese Grater.
Soaring above me, there are 18,000 tonnes of steel and 75,000 square metres of glass cladding. But I think what's most surprising about this structure is the space surrounding it. In the cramped city of London, space is at a premium. And if you look from here to the neighbours, it measures just about 10 feet. That's a cosy fit. This is my kind of building. Exposed steel structures, nuts and bolts that you can see, the innards of the escalators actually on show.
Nigel Webb has taken the building from vision to reality.
You had some very specific challenges to overcome, didn't you, on such a tiny site?
This was just a very, very small site. It's roughly half an acre in total, yet we've managed to get a building of 52 stories on the site.
How did you achieve it?
80% of this building was actually manufactured off-site. Because we didn't have the storage on site, things had to be brought and put together almost like a Meccano kit. There are 40,000 pieces of steel in this building, and all connected by 3,000 megabolts holding the building together. It really is, in terms of sort of young lads and girls, this is a real Meccano set in action.
I'm in heaven.
But we all know skyscrapers are really about height. So it's time to head up to the top. The lifts and other building services are packed into an ultra-efficient tower at the back of the building. Another space-saving trick by the architects. These are the fastest lifts in Europe, at more than 2 floors a second.
We go from the reception area to the top of the building in 25 seconds.
That is quite a ride.
London before you.
Oh.
You feel your ears popping a little bit,
Yes,
don't you?
I can feel my ears popping, my heart pounding. And
I'd love
there's
to
the
see it.
gherkin, look! Bloody hell. I'm sorry, but I have never seen the London skyline like that before. I mean, the gherkin looks almost tiny. Oh. I'd like an apartment up here.
The cheese grater stands at 735 feet, the tallest building in the City of London.
Oh.
So here we are on the roof of the building.
Ooh.
The narrowest part of the rooftop terrace on floor 47 has been nicknamed the Plank.
I hope you've got a head for heights.
Yeah. I did have until today.
And there you are, St Paul's Cathedral, once the tallest building in the city.
And now this is the tallest building in the City of London. And of course, this creation built to protect that view, and now incredibly just looking over it, and it's dwarfing St Paul's.
Absolutely.
Looks like a tiny little licorice allsort down there. What I appreciate most about the cheese grater is the imagination that's gone into its construction. Every problem has been turned into a solution to create this unique and, I think, utterly exciting building.
I love the way it's pushed the boundaries in the spirit of British building tradition, like all my wonders. From Yorkshire to Cornwall, Caernarfon to Bath.
They are adventurous, they're inventive and bold, and that's why I think our greatest buildings are a true wonder of brick.